In this video, we talk about 5 retirement spending myths that most retirees believe. Coming up next on Holy Schmidt.
Holy Schmidt!
There's a lot of information out there. Some of it's true, some of it's sort of true, and some of it isn't true at all, depending on your station in life. This video is going to discuss 5 retirement spending myths that for the most part aren't true, at least not true for the vast majority of people. All right, let's get into it. You need a huge retirement nest egg to enjoy retirement. The fact is, that's not true for the vast majority of people. Let me explain. First, let's discuss the reality that most people face. No matter how much money you have when you retire, it won't feel like it's enough for most people. So, with this in mind, the added stress and pressure of trying to add an additional $5,000 or $10,000 or $20,000 to your retirement savings or more, if you're a super high achiever, will put a lot of pressure on you that you don't actually need to have put upon you. Smart budgeting and lifestyle adjustments can go a long way to bridging the gap between you and the millions and millions that you think you might need. For example, prioritizing experiences over spending can lead to a very fulfilling lifestyle because experiences are something you do with others and by yourself, but they leave an impact on you. It's not just another toy to put in the back of your drawer. More importantly, experiences foster deeper relationships and enhance connections between you and the person you're experiencing it with. And even if you're not talking about shared experiences, low-cost activities like volunteering or hobbies are quite impactful on the quality of life of a retiree. Volunteering, by the way, is one that's supremely important to me personally. I do a lot of it, frankly, and the amount of satisfaction I get when I know that I'm helping out another human being is huge. Also, engaging in hobbies and other meaningful activity keeps the mind young and the body active. Also, downsizing your home reduces your overall expenses and increases your financial flexibility. A smaller home typically has lower property taxes, lower utility costs, and less expensive upkeep. Also, downsizing your home frees up equity, which you can use to invest and do other things in retirement. Another reason that you may not need a huge nest egg is that things like Social Security and perhaps a pension will cover a lot of your basic costs in retirement, at least for most people. Social Security is adjusted for inflation. Some pension plans are as well, and that's a huge benefit in today's inflationary environment. And finally, on the subject of having a huge nest egg, living a more simple life can reduce a lot of stress in your life. Retirement spending myth number 4, you should avoid at all costs using or spending any of your retirement principal. Let me begin by saying on this point, the purpose for saving for retirement is to be able to use those funds in retirement, not keep them indefinitely. Continuing to just accumulate wealth can lead to missed opportunities for experiences and other events in retirement that can be quite impactful. And ultimately, the purpose of saving for 30 or 40 years isn't just to leave a large estate, but to enjoy the experience of retirement. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about taking all of your savings and going on an around the world trip, a bucket list trip that's going to wipe out your savings, but what I'm talking about is a careful withdrawal strategy. A structured withdrawal helps you balance preserving savings and spending in retirement, helping you extend the life of your investments. And regularly reviewing and adjusting your strategy based on market conditions helps you maintain the nest egg for a longer period of time. Retirement myth number 3, you need to maintain your same standard of living in retirement that you had before retirement. The fact is, most retirees find that they spend a lot less in retirement. Work-related expenses like commuting, business attire, lunches away from home all add to a very large number at the end of every month, and all of those go away, at least a large portion of them. Also, it costs a lot of money to live life large. You had to do it when you were in your working years, potentially raising a family and getting them ready for their own lives, but now you don't have to do that anymore. That's not a requirement, not even an expectation. You can live in a smaller, more manageable space, emphasize experiences over stuff, and just in general, bring your life down to a calm that you haven't had since you were a child. In other words, focus on your health, your relationships, and your experiences rather than material possessions. Now on the flip side, myth number 2 you need to be very aware of, and that is most people think that healthcare costs are going to go down or stay the same when they are in retirement, and the fact is they don't. This is because the vast majority of retirees, their medical costs go up when they retire. For example, long-term care just isn't covered by Medicare, as an example. Prescription drugs are sometimes only partially covered with Medicare Part D, leading to higher out-of-pocket costs. Dental, vision, and hearing care are only partially covered or not covered at all, depending on the nature of the procedure or the equipment that you need. And if nothing else, Medicare has co-insurance, co-pays, and deductibles, and that simply means that someone who is an avid consumer of medical care, which the retirement community generally is going to pay more out of pocket simply for those items. Some specialized treatments, like, for example, cosmetic surgery or acupuncture, they aren't covered by Medicare. Also, some advanced or experimental procedures aren't covered by Medicare, and those are the ones that could be particularly costly. And finally, retirement myth number 1. You cannot spend more in your early years of retirement than you do in your later years because it puts too much financial pressure on your savings in your later years. Now let's talk about the truth here. Early retirement, people have a lot of energy and they like to do things that they will not be able to do later on in retirement, unfortunately. Oftentimes, the bucket list items come out. Travel is a big one. And if you do go into retirement with your eyes wide open and you structure your spending in a way that allows for more flexibility at the front end, you can take advantage of your energy and your health, which are abundant when you enter retirement, and do the things that you like to do. Where people get into trouble is they don't actually know what that looks like. What does it actually mean to spend more in your early years and less in your later years? And will you be in dire straits in your later years by doing so? It all comes down to having a well-structured strategy where you can see yourself where your cash flow is going to be and how much you're going to spend in the early years and in the later years. Also, utilizing income from part-time employment or passive investments can help smooth the way without actually depleting your savings. And when you make those big life adjustments that we talked about earlier, including things like downsizing your home, you do have free capital to invest and to enjoy. And it's important to note that health and energy levels do go down as you approach mid to late stage retirement, which means that you spend less, at least on everything but health care. And of course, don't forget that Social Security benefits continue to go up as time marches on, even when your other savings has come down a bit. As we wrap up this video, it's important to note that the interplay between your financial decisions is quite tricky when it comes to things like health, other family members, and your general well-being. There are people out there who are really good at doing this themselves, and there are people that aren't good at doing this at all. A lot more people are the second type than the first. So if you find yourself in the second category, not good at doing this at all, consider a financial planner. A few rules of the road: make sure that the financial planner is recommended to you personally from someone that you know, not someone that you find on the internet, for example. That's just a bad idea from every single direction. And make sure that they're a fee-only financial planner acting as a fiduciary. A fiduciary is legally obligated to act on your best behalf. If you like this video, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up. YouTube uses the number of thumbs up in a video, the number of likes in a video, to raise it in the search results, and I want to help as many people as possible. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you get alerted the next time I post a video. I post once or twice a week. Finally, if you like this video, check out that video on how to choose a financial planner. This is Jeff Schmidt. Thanks for watching.